Hey, and welcome back to Roll Move Repeat, where cardboard meets chaos. I am Sean.
I'm Mandy.
And I'm the Sean that you can take home to meet your mother.
That's a good one.
When
I
you
have,
said,
I have a few more planned for future
"Oh man,"
I
podcasts.
love it. I love it.
when you said I had something, planned for the names tonight, I was like, should I be worried?"
Yes,
But
always.
Don't worry, they'll all be lighthearted and rated G.
I hope so. This is a family show after all, Sean. A family show. So, hey everyone, welcome to our podcast for the night. Tonight is episode 8. We're going to be talking about gateway games that these are you can use to get people that have never played games to maybe start playing games with you. We have a few that we've actually all decided upon, which we're going to talk about, and then there's 3 that we kind of had a little bit of argument and like, hey, let's bring some argument to the podcast. So we're going to do that. So before we get into that, we're going to start with our normal topics of what we've been playing recently. And to start us off tonight, we're going to have Mandy kicking us off. So Mandy, go ahead, take it away.
We recently played with my kids Outburst Junior. They are not serious gamers. So we usually have to bring out a party game. They literally are like, we'll play it if it's a party game. I'm like, all right, fine. So we did this one. I actually really like it. We have the regular Outburst from the 90s. We found this at a board game cafe and really liked it and then found it on like eBay or something because it's out of print now. But it's Outburst Junior. It's created by Brian Hirsch and was published by Hasbro. I think that one was Mattel, that
Yeah.
version right there, but I think the one we have is Hasbro. So yeah, basic game. If you haven't played Outburst, it's like you have this little thing that you can put a little card into and see all the answers. There's a topic at the top, and your team has to just yell out all the answers for the different topics. So it could be like things at a beach, and you have like a minute and a half or something like that to yell out all the things at the beach, and you try to get as many as you can out of the 10 that are on the thing. You go around the board until someone reaches 50 and you win. It's easy, self-explanatory game, and it's a lot of yelling, screaming. It's great. It's a good time. Yeah.
I remember the older one, the one you were saying from the 90s. And I
Mhm.
remember like playing that with the family and we'd like with my family and everything else. And the funny part was that you'd get something like you said, things at a beach.
Yeah.
And you'd all yell out and you'd get to 9 and you couldn't figure out what that 10th one was. And it was something so
It's all
obscure.
this 10th one is always dumb. Not
Yeah.
an Outburst Junior, but the regular
Yeah.
Outburst. It's always obscure. There's one, and I remember because we have that one. There's one that's planets. You're like, well, there's only 9 planets. Well, if you count Pluto, there's only 9 planets. What's
Depends on
the
when the
10th?
edition came out.
Right. It's before. So you count Pluto. But like the 10th one, it ended up being like whatever Mork is from or something like that.
Mork
And you're
from
like, "What?"
Orc.
I think
Oh
it was
my
Orc,
God.
or maybe it was from where, like, somebody from Star Trek or something. I don't know. I'm like, "This is dumb." It's always that 10th one.
I remember
Yeah.
that one because it was like people from the Bible or something like that. And that was when a long time ago when I was like an altar server at church. So I was like, oh, I got this. So I'm naming everything and I couldn't figure out like what the last one was. And it was like Ruth. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's not someone that whatever. But anyways,
Doesn't she have a whole Bible book named
she
after her,
does.
though?
She does. But again, like, you know, yeah, bad altar server right here. But anyways, let's skip that because I don't want to bring up bad memories of, of bad outbursts there. But anyways, all right, so we're gonna kick over to Sean next. Sean, you got what you got there?
So I finally played Next Station Paris. I think I actually played it twice since our last podcast. So it's designed by Matthew Dunstan and published by Blue Orange. It's the third in a trilogy. They're all called Next Station. We've talked about the first one, Next Station London, several times on this podcast. The second one is Tokyo, and this is Paris. Um, the kind of the changes that it has, this one's got monuments that are basically wild stations, and like the center, like this, there's like this huge big station that's a wild that you can go into anything, and if you go into it, then there's like a whole bunch of different locations where you can come that you can come out, which is different from like the normal stations where you can only go one direction or a couple different directions. And and then there's like these 8 bypasses which allow you to cross lines, which is the first time you could cross lines in the game. in any of these games, and you get bonus points for completing if you complete one. And I recently played this with my sister, and she made the observation that the central station really lets you get from one side of the map to the other, making it potentially easier to connect different colors to get those sweet interchange points. But the thing is, like, that's it. I I kind of felt like I was excited when I first heard they had these bypasses where you could have the lines cross. I think I was expecting more. I think they could have done a little bit more with the bypasses. When we played the two games I played, I just kind of felt like they were there, and if you happen to get to them, great, you get some more points. So maybe I need to play it a couple more times, but I feel like I was actually a little bit let down with Paris after Tokyo. Going from London to Tokyo, like, it added so many extra things to try and do and ways to manage your lines, and it almost felt like Paris kind of went backwards a little bit. Uh, so I would say I probably would put of the three of the trilogy, I'd probably put Paris solidly in the middle. Tokyo is
Hmm.
definitely my favorite of the three, and London I would put third, mostly just because it's kind of more simplified, and I've now played it like 20 times.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't want that to be considered criticism. Like, London was the first of the series, so it was introducing the mechanics. It was a good way to get into the series. And spoiler alert, it may come up later in this podcast.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, so that's Paris. I like it. I definitely want to play it again. But I think Tokyo is my favorite of the three.
I
Mandy,
found Paris to be kind of frustrating as well. And I don't remember exactly why, but I remember not being able to do what I was trying to do or something like that. And I think it was those things you were talking about. And as the interchanges are kind of frustrating.
it's weird because like I've just played Next Station Tokyo. I how do I say this? I played it on Board Game Arena. um, it was so
Our unofficial sponsor.
unofficial sponsor. So basically, what it is that Sean Allison that works upstairs from us, we got together and had lunch, and during lunch we're like, let's play a board game. And we were talking, and it was like, well, I don't have any board games with me, and we were talking about Board Game Arena. And she's like, oh, I used to play on that during the pandemic, so let's play on it again. So we played that. So we're looking for games, and she just happened to go, oh, I love Next Station Tokyo, and I remember you telling like how awesome the game was. So I'm like, sweet, let's go for it. So we played it. I got decimated on my first game. Again, I think that one there, like, I need to actually play it live to see everything, because again, when you do
You need to know the
things,
rule. You need to know the rules for that one because
yeah,
the rules are not. They're a little. There's some more obscure rules that are hard to.
yeah, it's and that was what I think the problem that I had was that, because again, there's certain things you get scoring for, and I didn't know how to get certain scores. But again, I liked it. I really liked the fact that you can actually, follow two lines. So like I could put green next to pink and blue next to purple or whatever it was. And I had a blast with that. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to play that again. And next time live, not on not on BGA.
We played it live.
Yeah, I know you did, because you guys messed me, because you
Did we
guys were
send a
messing with
picture?
me. Yeah, no. Remember when I came over to play games and you
Mm.
guys were sitting all there with
No,
your
that's right.
computers and you were like, yeah, here, explain the story so that way our viewers at home can our listeners at home could hear what actually
That's
happened
right. We were playing this, right? We were playing
Yeah,
Next Station
Paris.
Paris, and we
Yep.
had it all lined up, and
And Sean was
Sean was
coming
supposed to
over
come
because we're
over.
gonna play something. I forget what we're gonna
Yeah.
play.
But it was taking him too long. And when he said he was on his way, we quickly hid everything from the game, put our laptops out and pretended we were playing on Board Game Arena. So when he walked in, we were like, "Come join us. We're playing
Did
on
you bring
Board
your
Game Arena."
laptop? Join us.
First off, I was coming from the hospital visiting my daughter and granddaughter, so that's why it took me a while. Second of all, I walked
You
in and I'm just
stopped
like,
for gas and you
no,
stopped
I
for
stopped for
You
food.
got
snacks.
I
you got
stopped for food. I was
snacks.
hungry. Hospital food. You don't eat the hospital food. But
But we got through like a good chunk of Ark Nova playing, like just faking playing.
but
We
I
got
just
like
remember walking in. You guys
30%
like, here, did you bring your laptop? I'm like, no. Like, I didn't know I was supposed to. You're like, oh, too bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
crap. But yeah, and then you guys picked up the laptops, and I saw you guys playing Next Station. That was kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of games that I get to play, which we got to play this on that same night because we did the what was it? What did we call it? The games that Christina likes to hate con or something like that.
Oh yeah,
The
the games my wife
Christina
hates
does
because
not
Yeah,
she
like.
was
the
yeah
game.
because she
Yeah,
was away for the
She
weekend.
was away.
yep.
So
That
we're
was
like, let's
so
play them all now.
it was the games that Christina hates to play. Con.
Con.
So I can't talk right now.
It was a short con.
It's a short
It
con.
lasted a few hours.
Yep. So we played. Now this is not the version we played, but we played Quacks of Quinlanburg. Um,
Mhm.
that is put out by Wolfgang Warsch, and North Star Games plus a few others publish it. Basically, this is a pressure lock. If you don't know, you're all witches, wizards trying to create this potion, and you're adding stuff into your cauldron. And the way you do it is you're pulling ingredients from your bag. So your bag has these mushrooms that could cause the thing to explode. You could add toadstools, or no, what do they call cherry bombs? That's what it
Cherry
was.
bombs.
Cherry bombs that could
Mm.
make your cauldron explode.
Mhm.
Then there's mushrooms, there's spiders, there's worms or some butterflies. Like I don't know. There's a whole mess load of different things. Pumpkins that are ingredients that you can add, and each one has a number on it, which then pushes your score down the track. So there's more. So when you start pulling things out, you're putting it on this cauldron which has numbers, and you're pushing it all the way around. The cherry bombs, though, after you hit, is it if you hit the eighth cherry bomb or the eighth number? So again, each cherry bomb has like a one, a two, or a three.
Mhm.
So what is it? There's four ones, two twos, and one three. So if you hit
Yep.
eight, if it equals eight, your cauldron explodes. Then at that point you have to choose: do you want points or do you want to use the monetary value to purchase more ingredients? If you don't do that, then you get the points and the monetary, so you get to purchase more ingredients as well. It's a big pressure luck game, big pressure luck. And there's sometimes you're just like, I want to go for it, I don't. And then a couple of us did blow up, and then screw
Mhm.
some things up and whatever.
I love that we're all sitting around the table going, "Ugh, do I go for it? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Where are
and
you?
we're
Okay."
all kind of looking around like oh, how far did Sean
Yeah.
get?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I
Where
want
did
Because
you
to
if
go?
you
get a
get
little
the
further.
farthest, you get to roll the die and get some extra bonus stuff.
Yeah.
So, but you can't blow up.
Nope.
Otherwise, you don't get that.
No, so it's just
Yeah.
like you're all looking like all right, Sean's there,
Yeah.
Josh is there,
How
Mandy's
many
there.
do I have in my bag that are
Yeah.
not cherry bombs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
What are
fun.
the odds I'm going to pull the one
Right.
I don't want?
Right.
It
And what I like is like there's all the different ones you can buy. They all have different effects, and mostly it's to kind of like either give you extra points or to kind of push things along.
Yeah,
Um,
it's I like this game. I have the original, like Mandy, we played your version which had like
Yeah, the
the
big
extra
box.
row, the big box. You had the extra
Yeah.
row of moving teardrops and stuff like that,
Mhm.
or whatever. I think they're called teardrops, right? They're potion drops
That's
or
a
whatever.
little thing
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like a teardrop. I don't
Yeah.
know. I call them teardrops.
And it's one of those games where that if someone's really far behind, there's ways to help them catch up. So it's not like,
yes.
oh, I've blown up six times, I am never winning this game.
Right.
There's like, oh, I've blown up
Mhm.
six times, and there's a way if I get this, I can be in second, or if I do this, I could get in first.
Mhm.
So again, there's that stuff that's pretty cool
There is
about this
like a
game.
catch-up mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think is because the very first time that we played this, I think I blew up like my first 5 potions, and I was way behind everybody. But because of that, I started like the catch up mechanic. Like I started like really jump all of a sudden like really catching up, and I basically came from dead last to ultimately winning the game. And I think that was one of the reasons that Chris doesn't like this game because she was like, "That is total crap. You blew up like
You were
5 or
losing.
6 you were losing so badly, and then just because the game like basically felt sorry for you, you got to catch up to and pass everybody." I think she
Love
also
it.
doesn't care for pressure luck games,
Pressure
but
luck games.
she
Yeah.
was very annoyed
Poor
with me
Sean.
winning that
Let's
game.
make him feel better and give him some
Aw.
some bonus here. No, but this is a game that I really like. I do have the original set. I'm not as fancy as Mandy with the big box,
Mhm.
but yeah, I really enjoyed playing it. Like your boards too. They have that extra one, so you can actually get extra bonuses instead of like just pushing your cauldron forward.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool
we
mechanic.
always play it with that side now. Like we never ever play the normal side.
That's cool.
It seems like pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I've never played
Yeah.
that before, so it was really fun to play. So
Yeah.
thank you for playing that side because that was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to jump into our topic. So our topic tonight is gateway games. So these are the games that, again, what I said previously was games that you can play that you can bring out with people who are quote unquote non-gamers. These are the ones that don't really play that many board games. Maybe they've heard of board games and they're like, oh, board games, Monopoly, sorry, Scrabble, like
Scrabble.
stuff like that. Like they don't know
Yeah.
the other games that are out there. Um, One of the games that is not on our board, which is I'm going to talk about just really briefly, um, is I was working for Arlington Public Schools. We had a couple students that were working for us, and I was talking about this game called Arcadia Quest. Now, again, they're not board gamers or anything, and that's not a game to start people with. That's not like a here play
It's
this
definitely
sink or
not a
swim.
gateway game.
What's that?
It's definitely not a
No,
gateway
no,
game.
no, not at all. But they did like those type of like PvP type games. So I'm like, oh, here's this game. Let's try it. And one of the kids that was there was like, holy crap, I never knew these type of games existed. Like, what other games are out there? So
You're like, oh, I got you.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
And
But
that
soon after that,
and that's
soon after that,
sorry, go ahead.
no, soon after that, they both graduated and they went off to colleges
Mm.
and stuff like that. So we didn't get a chance to play too much more. But again, that is a that is a distant gateway game, and that was because of the things that they were into. I was able to match
Mm.
that.
But I think like those of us who love board games, like that's the reaction that we're going for with like these kind of quote unquote gateway games. Is we want to introduce a game to somebody who just to somebody who maybe hasn't played stuff like that, so they can have that reaction of like, oh, I didn't know board games existed like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I know they've got really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some great stuff out there. Let me show you some more.
yeah, no, and like our first episode we talked about the games that were our gateway games, which got us into board games. And again, the ones that we're going to list in a little bit were not ones that we were our gateway games. Like these were the ones that were different for us.
Mm.
What we're finding now is the more common ones that we have. Speaking about our first one, so we're going to jump into the first one. The first one is Catan, or Settlers of Catan. This is by Klaus.
This was my first game.
This
This
was
was
it?
mine.
Okay.
Hmm.
So this is put
It's
up by
pretty much
Klaus
mine
Tuber.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Klaus Tuber is the one that created it. Cosmos and Mayfair plus 51 other games have published publishers have published this game. So if you don't know Catan, if you're listening to this for the first time, basically you are building an area, a road, settlements, cities, and you're fighting over
Land.
spaces, land over on this thing. But the way you're doing it is that you're putting in between. How do you describe it? These hex lands that are there, you're building in between them, and then each hex land has a number on it. So the way it works is that you roll the dice, and then whatever number comes up on the dice hits for whatever land that's on, and each land has a resource attached to it. So there could be brick, wood, ore, or sheep, and no one wants your damn sheep. I was hoping you were gonna wear that
Sheep.
shirt tonight, Sean, but
I should have.
I saw
You
you
should
wearing
have.
the
Worn
Pax
that
one.
one.
But yeah, so and then as you're building your settlement, you're building in these areas, which then can stop other people from building in those areas as well. So now I'm getting this right, guys, because I want to make sure, because I haven't played this in a little bit. But is that the premise? Like, I'm not messing that up by any means, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first, things that you build are worth points. Settlements worth 1 point. Cities worth 2. There's some other ways to get points, and basically
Mm.
whoever gets to 10 points like wins. Like the game
Great.
stops automatically, just like first
Yep.
person to 10 wins. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember
um,
that too, because there's like a lot of trading involved and everything else. And my last time I played this was, oh god, it was a long time ago. I played in a tournament at PAX, and one game lasted almost 2.5 hours, which was insane.
That's long.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah.
was so long, and at the end we're like, all right, got to get ready for the next game in the tournament. I'm
Right.
like, I need a break. Like I need to go
Yeah.
get something to eat or something.
That's very
Um,
long.
yeah, but because no one wanted to trade because everyone was at like 8 or 9 points. So again, you
Yeah.
didn't know what was going to push them over that edge. But
Right.
like
Yeah.
these are one of the games. Like this is the first one, and this one here was made back in the 70s. Was it the 70s? I think.
Was it really that long ago?
I think so. Oh,
Was
here's
it-
something cool. I
I
found
thought it was
out.
like
When-
the I thought it was like the late 90s when it came out.
Was it late 90s?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Look it up right now.
I'm gonna do it.
But here's something I just found out, which is
We,
really
sh-
cool.
we should have done this research
I
before.
know before.
We're live. We're not live, but
but here's the cool thing though, right? So Game Master, there was a movie put out called Game Master, which then talks about Klaus Tuber and creating this game along with other games. But they just sold the rights to, I think it was Netflix, to create a game, create a show.
95.
95. Okay, so wow, I'm way off. I thought it was in the 70s.
Where do you come with the 70s?
Why did I think it was the 70s? I have 3 copies of this in the
Poor Klaus is like, I'm not that old.
Didn't he die recently?
I think
he died
he
recently.
might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they sold the rights to Catan to make a series about the world of Catan. So Netflix is going to come up with a show about Catan. So this will be kind of interesting to see.
I feel like we're obligated to watch that.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We have to.
We have to do a watch party of Game Master because it talks about like the creation of board games and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
So what did you? So Sean, I know this was like your first gateway game. So what did you like about it? Like, what was so different about this game than any of the other games? Like, I can remember mine, so I'm curious as to what yours was.
So it was interesting because I was gonna say like I kind of feel like these days I kind of feel like Katana is looked down on a little bit on by the board game community. It's been around for a while. You can kind of get it at Walmart,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes people can say it can feel maybe a little tired, and people want to be looking for something a little more fresh. And it's not really a game I play that frequently anymore. But to be fair, I played it a lot in the early 2000s.
Right.
But I think one of the things that made like why Catan was so great when it came out is that it did a lot of things first. Um, it's like when I kind of think of Catan, I kind of think when you think of like movies like The Matrix or like Citizen Kane, which like they might feel a little dated by today's younger audiences. The thing is, like, did groundbreaking things at the time that had never been done that we kind of
Agreed.
take for granted.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that Catan is like the Citizen Kane of board game world, but I do kind of feel like it kind of has that role. Like there was a lot of things that it did first that was just so unique, and I think that was like I just remember when I was sitting down and playing for the first couple times. It was like there just wasn't another game like it.
Yeah,
It's just like there's
nothing.
so many unique things that it did, and everything meshed really well. And I think there was so much interaction with other players.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about like I know we we like to stomp on Monopoly, but it's one. I mean, everybody knows Monopoly. So I mean, Monopoly, it's like
Right.
you roll the dice, you move, and like you don't really interact with like unless you're landing on somebody's property, you don't really interact with people. But like Catan's like
Right.
you're trading, like everybody's pieces are on the board together, like you're interfering with other people. You're
Mm-hmm.
playing these cards, you're moving this robber that you might be kind of that can be a little bit of that like take that element. Um, gosh, the snake draft. I mean,
I'd
I
never
didn't
seen a snake draft before.
I don't know if Catan was the first one to do it, but it's certainly the first I'd ever experienced
Mhm.
that whole snake
Mhm.
draft idea. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. The first, the person who goes fourth gets to then put their second one out, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is brilliant. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many things that it was such a unique experience the first time I
Yeah.
played it, and yeah, just
I
you
loved that. I was
always
gonna say,
hold a great. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I was gonna say that I loved that everyone got to do something. Like if it was my turn to roll, other people could still collect off of what I rolled. So you're not
Yeah,
just sitting around waiting for other people. In some ways that stinks because you can't go grab a snack when it's not your turn. You always have to be at the table and like looking. But it keeps everybody very engaged, and I
yeah,
loved that about it.
Unless
That
you're
was
playing
I'd never yeah,
friendly rules where you're like, oh, I rolled a 7 or I rolled a
no.
5, and so you get 4. Or unless you're like
We
when we
do.
play, yeah. Unless you play like we play, and it's all of a sudden it's like, all right,
Haha.
I got to run and go get a drink, and you come back, and it's like, all right, what happened? I don't know. Like, no, we 3 people have gone. Like, what happened? I don't know. Like, oh.
Mhm.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
Catan, this is one that when we talked about was number 1 on our list. This is the one we all like kind of agreed upon right away.
Mhm.
The next one that we kind of agreed upon as well was the next one, which is Ticket to Ride. This was created by Alan Moon, and Days of Wonder is the publisher of this. So I'm going to switch it over to Sean to have him start this one.
Oh,
Um,
jeez, I wasn't prepared for this one.
just so that way, because that way you can get another perspective of it. So, Sean, let's go ahead and you take it away.
Can I do a different one?
I can
All
do
right,
Ticket to
all
Ride.
right. I'll let
I
Mandy
didn't
do
have
Ticket to
very
Ride.
good notes on this one.
Oh
Okay.
no.
All right, Mandy, you go for it.
Well, I wanted to put this on there because this is one of the games that I learned shortly after Catan. Like that Catan was first, and it definitely got me looking at other types of games. I don't remember how I learned this one, but it's so easy, but it's still so different than other games. But it's just not your typical Monopoly or Trouble or something going around the board, taking your own little turns. It's very different. What you're doing is you're collecting cards, you're placing trains on the board to connect different cities. In the original one, you're connecting different cities in the US. So, and you're trying to meet these secret objectives of trying to make basically one long train line from one city to another. And nobody else knows which cities you're trying to connect. So they're trying to connect different cities. They could get in your way. So you might have to go like completely around a different way just to get to the city that you're looking to get to. You get points based on if you get those different objectives done, and also if you are trains, how long your trains are at the end. So if you have like a big long one that's like 6 trains long, it'll be like I think it's 15 points or something. But I have this one friend who really likes board games. She really likes, I think her kind of gateway game is Code Names. She really likes Code Names, which is kind of party game, but kind of strategy game. So I was like, I think you're gonna like real games. So I mean, Code Names is a real game. I really like it, and I have it. But I taught her this, and I taught her Catan, and she liked them both. It's a great game, and I also taught my friend when I went in England with her to the board game cafe. The two of us just played Ticket to Ride, so she knows how. I'm like slowly teaching people Ticket to Ride because I think it might be slightly easier to learn than Catan, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
know.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because there's basically only three things you can do in your turns. Like you either like draw trains, play trains, or like draw more tickets. And like
Yeah.
and the objectives are pretty simple. It's hey, you got these hidden objectives. You're trying to get trains from point A to point B. If you succeed, you get you complete the ticket. You're going to get those points at the end of the game. So it's fairly yeah, it's pretty easy to grasp and it's fairly simple. So
Yeah.
and yeah, it's and as you said, like there was when it kind of came out again, there weren't other games like it. I
Yeah.
still think there's probably not a lot of games like it.
There's not. Not that I know of
Yeah,
anyway. Maybe there's some.
While you
yeah.
guys are
I feel like
talking
they've
about
kind of
this, go ahead, Sean.
I feel like they've kind of dominated that market. I mean, at this point, I feel like there's like a dozen versions of Ticket to Ride because we got like Ticket to Ride Europe and
Hmm.
Asia and a bunch of other different versions at this point. But yeah, I feel like they're still like they kind of still have that niche.
Yeah.
While you guys were talking about it, I was trying to think of another game that's similar to that, and I can't think of one where those are like the three moves. Like there are
Right.
games with three moves or whatever, but this is one that I can't think of, like where you're drawing cards or playing cards or stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of its own niche there.
Yeah.
And just I'm going to admonish you: we do not game shame, Mandy.
I
We
know.
we do not game shame.
I like
Especially
Code Names. I have it.
you
I
know
didn't mean to say real.
Sean,
I
we
meant to
literally have
say hard.
podcasts of like games we love to hate. So we do
oh,
We do a
actually
little bit.
game shame.
all right, all right.
Slamwich. I
Sla-
don't like Slamwich.
Slave Witch.
That could go away forever.
Gaia.
See, I
Ugh.
was trying to get that on I was trying to get that on tonight's thing, Gateway Games for Slamwich, but Mandy was like, "No."
Stupid
She was like, "I quit. If you put on Slamwich, I quit." So
Gone.
so we had to that got nixed right away. But yeah, I mean, I like this game. I got taught this game by Ben and Lindsay. They came over and they actually had the deluxe version, which had these like really cool like looking trains, like they had these circus trains and everything else,
Ooh.
which was amazing.
I also have the deluxe version.
You
It's
do?
the
You
10th.
do?
It's the 10th anniversary edition. Yeah.
Oh,
Why have we never played? Well, we
I
usually
know.
play
You
crazy
never
hard
asked.
games. I didn't know you had it.
we're gonna have to play that because I love those trains. Those trains that look so cool.
Yeah.
Other than the little plastic ones that I have, but I mean, yeah, I learned to play with them and I loved it. And that was like another game that I was like, oh wow, dude, there's again, it was kind of like my gateway game to more modern games.
That's
Because
the more appropriate word
yeah,
than not real. Yeah.
yeah, not real. To more modern games because again, like I said, when we talked about episode 1, we talked about games like Clue, not even Clue. What was it? Life, Round 4, stuff like that, stuff like Mattel and Hasbro and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then now, coming into the more modern games like Catan or Ticket to Ride now, um, this was mine and this was great. I loved playing
Mm.
it.
It's very good. I actually would say that this one is better played with the most people you can. I think it's a four player, 5 player.
5.
I don't
Five.
Yeah,
remember
up
5.
to 5.
I'd say it's better because you get in each other's way more.
Yep.
So it makes it
Yeah.
harder, a little more strategy involved. Because if you play 2 players, it's still fun, but it's just you can kind of get everything done and you know exactly what you need to. It's just a little easier. So
Yeah.
That was another thing that was kind of unique is that they like most board games were kind of designed for 4 players,
hmm
and Ticket to Ride you could have a fifth. So
yeah,
Yeah, like you were saying, Mandy, is that when you have that fourth, fifth, even third person, depending on how what you're playing,
yeah,
um, it blocks off some roads or some tracks, so that way you have to go around. So if someone's taking this part of the track, you have to go around. So now
yeah,
your strategy all changes,
yep,
which was really cool because again, there is that interaction. There is that now you blocked me. I was trying to go
right,
from Sault Ste. Marie to Miami, but now you got this other thing in
right,
here, so now I got to go a different way.
right.
So it's a really cool. Yeah, I agree with you on that. That the more players
The
you
more the
have,
better.
yeah, the better.
Yeah.
Speaking about more players, the better. I actually like this one a lot, which is Wingspan.
I love
Actually,
Wingspan.
okay. So Sean, can you take this one?
sure.
All right, I'll let you take this one.
So uh, Wingspan is probably more complicated than some of the other games on our list. There's a little more to do. There's kind of you've got like they've got laying eggs and playing the birds. There's like the feeding mechanism of what the different birds want different foods. There's the end game scoring. So there's definitely more. It's a little bit more complicated, but I think where this game really has grabbed people because I mean when it came out, it just absolutely just exploded in the scene.
hmm
Like the stores couldn't keep it in stock. Everybody wanted it. I think what really cemented it was the theme. It embraced the theme of birds so well. There's so many different birds, and they each have a different power, and they all have like a little bit of flavor text with them kind of tilted with the bird, and the powers all kind of related to the bird, and they kind of and a little bit of their a little bit about them. And I think that's what really endeared people to this game because you felt like you kind of learning, and it was just such a cool theme. There's so many people who doesn't like birds. Birds are just cool. Even if you don't even if you're not a what I guess an ornithologist, is that what
I
bird
think so. Yeah.
I was just
people
gonna
are?
say birder.
A birder. Even if you're not a birder, I feel like people generally kind of like birds, and so like this board game about them, it's just it. I feel like it's a very like I don't want to say whimsical, but it's a very like it just kind of the theme just really draws people in. People just really like it, and the boards the boards are pretty. The different like it comes like a little dice tower to roll the dice for the food and everything. And I think, man, if I remember correctly, didn't you say you taught your mother how to play this game and she kind of picked up on it right away?
So I tried.
No, maybe
Um,
I didn't remember that correctly.
I she did at first, and then I don't know, like halfway through the game, she forgot how to play. I don't I don't quite get that because
All right.
she was doing fine. But I do know other people that are not board game people. They're not like out there looking for the hardest thing to play or the newest thing or the most modern. But I know people that play this game and love it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a I agree that it's a great gateway game. I think when I first saw it though, I remember sitting at PAX when it was like one of those first years and you guys were all learning it and I was like an extra person. I'm like, I'll just watch. And I just saw you guys set it up and I was like, "Oh, good lord, I will never learn that game. That is scary." And then I learned it and I was like, "This is so easy." It wasn't hard at
Yeah.
all. I don't know why. It looks kind of daunting when you
It
set
does
it all up.
Yeah.
it does look a little more daunting
Mhm.
um than it actually is. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut in here because I forgot two crucial parts of this. This was designed by Elizabeth Hargrave
Oh,
and is put out by
Mhm.
Stone Meyer Games. I forgot to pitch that before we started, but I remember, like you were saying, Mandy, when we were playing this at PAX, and that is the worst place to learn a new game when you're
So
playing
bad.
and not when you're playing with the developers and stuff like that. When you're taking a game back to the table and trying to play it in the monster room that they have at PAX East,
Mm.
Everyone's talking. It is so loud. You're literally like reaching across with your ear, like, what did you
Yeah.
say? What happened? How do I do this? How do I do that?
It's just
Um,
very overstimulating
yeah.
too. It's like I can't concentrate.
hmm
I gotta, yeah,
If we're playing something that I've played before, it's great. But once
sure.
it, once it's something that's like this where you're learning. But the thing, you guys were saying, is like the eggs, like seeing the whole thing set up in the eggs and everything else. Like, oh, I want the blue eggs, and it's like, no, you don't choose a color egg. You just choose whatever egg you see on the table and
Whatever,
just throw it on the
whatever you
thing.
feel like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Again, I learned this at PAX. Ethan was the one that taught us, I believe,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
He was sitting at the table when
yep,
I saw you guys set it all up. Yeah.
Yep.
he was loving the feeling of the rule book. I remember him saying,
The rule
"Feel
book's the
Yeah.
best.
it feels
It's
like
got this
very
amazing
tactile."
texture.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
first
very
of all, we didn't even talk about the rule book. The rule book is perfect for people learning to play this game because remember, it gives you the first 4 turns.
yeah.
It's
That's true. Oh,
great.
that's true.
It's
It's been so long
I've
since I
never seen another game do it to this
that's
day.
true.
I
It's
don't
been so
know,
long I'd actually forgotten about that.
right? Because we don't need to
Yeah.
play that way anymore. But if you're learning this game, it literally is like, here's the 4 people, here's the cards you're holding, here's your first turn, do this, and then the next person does something slightly different. And by the
Mhm.
time you get around, you see all the turns and exactly what
Yep.
you could do.
Yep.
And then they give you some like, okay, now you're on your own, but here's some suggestions as to what you might want to do, but you don't have to do that. It
Yeah.
was great. I
Yeah.
loved it.
I totally
Yeah.
yeah. I completely forgot about that. I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah.
And they have the
When you mentioned the rule book.
and they have the starter deck, like you said. They have here are the cards. They have those, and
Mhm.
then once you learn how to play, you can incorporate those cards back into the deck that you're playing. So,
Yeah.
that was a really cool concept. I totally forgot about that until you brought it up. That
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
It's so good. They did a great job on the rule book feel. It is really good. Like it feels really nice. But also that they just like added that for new players.
Yeah.
It's
hmm
great.
The other cool thing about this, before we jump to our next one, is the fact that there's two ways to play this. You could have everyone going, so there's, what do you call it? Objectives that you're going for each round. There's 4 rounds.
Mhm.
Is it 4 or 5? 4. There's 4 rounds.
4.
Four.
And then they have 2 sides, so everyone can get the same one. So if you have the most, you all get this points, and whoever has the second most get this. Or the first person who has this gets these points, and the second person gets
Mhm.
that. So there is a little bit of that competition where I'm trying to get the most out at this point, so I can I can get these amount of points and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of battle there, which is really cool. So it can scale for someone, for like an expert play,
Mhm.
I guess you would say.
Mhm.
So like again, you could fight over that instead of being like the easy, like everyone gets the same amount of points for this. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to jump into the next one, which is, again, this is another one we all talked about. We agreed upon was King Domino. King Domino was put out by Bruno Cathala and is put out by Blue Orange Games. I find Blue Orange Games in general make really good, easy gateway games.
Mhm.
There's another one we'll be talking about later on. Actually, Sean talked about it earlier, but we'll talk about it again. We'll talk, maybe. No, but they make the Spot It series. They make there was a whole bunch of games they put out. I had a list and now I can't remember them now. But if you've played Spot It, they make that game as well. King Domino, love this game. There's if you can see our screen, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're not, it's basically, it got a ton of rewards back in 2017,
Mhm.
and then it also has sold over 1 million copies. So the way this works, and again, I haven't played this in a long time because I remember Allison, Riker, Rebecca, and we all played it, and it was a really cool game where you're building a grid of 5 by 5,
5 by
4 by
5
5 by
by
5.
5.
5 by 5.
Yeah, 5 by
Yeah.
5.
And what you're doing is you're trying to connect tiles that, like, so the water goes together, the desert goes together, the forest goes together, and you're trying to build those things by taking dominoes and put them together.
Mhm.
And the way it goes is that you take you have little meeple, and you first decide which one you're going to take, and then it goes in order of which one you take it. And then after that, when you put the next ones out, whoever picked last gets to go first, and so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of a, making sure that no one has to pick last all the time.
Mhm.
Um, and then as you're building this in, you're getting points, and depending on what's on the tiles, you get, um, you get extra points at the end of the game. So like I said, yeah, there's farm, there's grass, there's forest, there's mining, there's water. There's so many tiles, and you get to put them together. It is such a fun game.
Yeah.
This is 2 to 4 players. It can, if you, it can play in about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on if you're playing for the first time or not. Once you play this like a couple times, yeah, 15 minutes, even for 4 players, can go pretty quick.
Yeah. You can absolutely bang out a game pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The drawback for this game is that it's so easy, it's so fun, it's so simple, but it's in a box, a big box. So it's not like you can just throw it in your backpack and play. Like if there was a way to do it and to throw it in a backpack, but because you're playing with all these tiles, and they're heavy cardboard. It's not like little flimsy things. They're pretty heavy. So that way, you know, that would be the only drawback I have with this. But this is such a fun and easy game to play. You know, I've played this a ton of times. I actually have it over there on that shelf right next to me over there. But yeah, so I'm gonna kick it over to you guys. I know you guys like to play this game as well. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's funny because like I think I must have gotten a different edition because I actually have a smaller. Our box is actually smaller. It's just a
Ours
little bit
is-
larger than all the pieces. But
Yeah.
I've certainly seen like the full size box, and I always kind of see it. I'm just like I don't know why it needs a full size box because yeah,
Ours is fairly small too. It's not a huge box. It's just a, I don't know, like trying to think of what size it might be in comparison to.
It's right here,
Where's yours?
actually.
Is it close
It's
by?
a little bit smaller. I
We
guess
need
it's a little smaller.
yeah, I
It's
think it's probably about ours.
maybe
Yeah.
yeah, that might be about the same as ours. Yeah.
I mean, it's smaller than definitely like, you know, Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
Wow.
That's not saying much.
Mo-
It's a
Most games are smaller
Right.
than
but
Gloomhaven.
it's smaller than the wingspan, but it's not like it's
Yeah.
not easy travel. It's not like
I
you're gonna
wonder
throw
if
that
you
in your
could
backpack.
like if you had a little bag or something, you could probably put everything in a bag. I know they have the little cardboard things that you put together to like be your castle, but you
Yeah.
really don't need that. You just need the little
Yeah.
tile that's the color.
I'm
You
gonna
know?
open up while we're,
Yeah.
I got it
Open
right
it.
here. Might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Great
You could
great
probably fit them
podcast
all,
material.
right? He is currently opening
yeah, I'm currently opening
the
the
box.
So I mean, that's half the stack, and that's probably about, and that's a good probably 2 inches, maybe
I
2 and
feel
a
like
half.
you could put that in some sort of
Maybe.
bag.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Like
Yeah.
we've talked about Corkle when we talked about travel games. Corkle that
Yep.
I talked about, that comes in a bag and you could just bring the bag with you. And that's
Yeah, I
like
guess you could throw this in there.
I feel like you could throw it in a bag.
All right. All right. I withdraw my objection to this game. Let me say
All
it
right.
that way, okay?
You just need now it should come
Take
with a
away your
bag.
criticism.
I take away my
Should come with a
criticism
bag.
of it. It's gonna fall off the shelf. So if you hear
I
a bang
really
in the
like
background, it's gonna. I didn't get it back.
This was one of the only games we could ever get our kids to play for a long time. Now they won't play anything
Yep.
with us because we're not cool. So but this was a good one. I think it's a really good one if you're like new into the games, maybe you want to get your kids into games. This is a really good one. I mean, it didn't work for us. They liked it for a little while and then they
Yeah.
stopped wanting to play anything.
Yeah, we got our kids to play for a little bit. They enjoyed it. Like they picked up on the rules like pretty quickly. They enjoyed it. They didn't necessarily get like the strategy right away, but
Yeah, but that's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, like she said, it's the whole concept is very simple. It's super easy to explain to people
Mhm.
and to show them how it works. You know, I mean, you're connecting your pieces. It's not luck based really, and there's like some strategy in deciding like oh, do I want to get the better piece now, but then I'm going to be picking last next round, or because maybe I don't really care about these pieces. Maybe I want to go last in the hopes that on the next round I can get go first and get a better piece. So
Mhm.
um,
It-
yeah, it's I definitely like it's a very simple game to grasp, and pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a reason why it's won so many awards. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a small rule book too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I apologize if you're hearing noise in the background. My rabbits are going a little nuts. So if you hear banging in the background, I
They
apologize.
also love King Domino.
They
They're
love
just
King Domino.
like-
That's why they're jumping around right now. I talked
That's
about
right.
King
They're like,
Domino, and
"Yeah."
they started jumping around. So I'm, all of a
Mhm.
sudden,
they're
I'm
like
just hearing
King Domino
banging.
tastes delicious.
Yeah. But if it falls off the shelf, that might be theirs. But yeah, no, but yeah, no, this is a fun game. This is totally one that again, what all 3 of us talked about, and this was, I mean, we had a list of probably 20 games, and then of the
That's a lot of
20, the ones that we're talking about right now, these are the ones like, oh yes, definitely this one, definitely
Yeah.
this one,
Mhm.
definitely this one. So, and then like the last one we're going to talk about right now, is one again. Sean already talked about. I'm gonna kick it back over to Sean again
Yeah,
because
talk about it again.
go ahead, Sean. But this one I put a different graphic up this time. This one's
Oh
Next
yeah.
Station London.
So Next
Which
Station London, which
hold on, I gotta get through this out.
oh sorry,
Matthew Dunstan and Blue Orange Games again. So go
yeah,
ahead.
See?
it's I mean we talked on this podcast a couple times already. It's a game that it's small, it's compact. It's you show them a piece of paper and like here's how you draw the lines, do the cards. It's super easy to grasp. There's no limit to the number of players you can play. You can bring it to a party and have 20 people all play at once. You just need to find some extra pencils, colored pencils
Mhm.
for it. Um, yeah, I this is certainly a newer game, so maybe this wouldn't be a traditional choice for as a gateway game. But you can you can see from the picture if you're on the YouTube that it's also won the it was I always forget the name. It's the
Spiel des
Spiel
Jahres,
Awards. Yeah, it's the
yeah.
German word for board game excellence.
Board game of the
Um,
year.
board game of the year. Yeah. Um, it's it's very simple and everybody's kind of doing their own thing, so you're not interfering with other people. There's no take that. So there's no people. I've seen people play a board like a take that board game for the first time, and they're just getting screwed by their players, and they're like, "Well, this isn't fun. Why would I ever want to play board games like this again?"
Mhm.
And so this is a great one where, like I said, everybody's kind of you're kind of doing your own thing. You're figuring out the best way that you want to try to draw your little subway system. And yeah, everybody who I've taught this to, they've learned it very quickly. The rules are simple, and everybody's enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
those people who've taught this to went out and bought it.
I'm one.
Yep, my sister's
I
another.
bought it. I bought it in London. Not London. Sorry, I'm looking at London. I bought it in Seattle when we went out there for our cruise, and we were leaving at us, and we went to the board game cafe out there.
Mm.
Um, this one here is such a fun flip right game. Um, it's right along the lines of Welcome to as well. Again, you can play as many players as you have the sheets to play and the pencils to play as well. Just grab a whole bunch of different colored pencils that are the same colors of what there's
Blue, pink,
purple
purple,
and green.
green.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as long as everyone has those colors, you can play, and it's so fun. It is such a
Yeah.
fun game. And Sean, I want to thank you for teaching me this game because this is one that we played a bunch of times and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
Well, had to thank Manny's cousin Ed for teaching me at
oh,
Did
PAX
he
a few
teach
years
you?
ago. He did, yeah.
I wonder if he learned. So I'd never heard of it before. I bought it when Christina and I were in England. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, a board game that's easy to bring home because it's really small. It's like a souvenir because this is London. We weren't in London at the time. We were up north, but still, I was like, oh, it's a souvenir from England. I'd never heard of it before. And I feel like Ed would have learned from me. So I think it
Yeah.
came from me and
I remember
Christina, I
it
think.
was at PAX and Josh Ed taught it to me and Josh at the same time. I'm pretty sure it was the three of us who played the first
Oh,
game.
weird. Cool. Yeah, it's a really good game.
all
And
right.
this one's the simplest, I think, as we said before.
This one is definitely the
Yeah.
simplest. All right, we're gonna get into our somewhat fighty games now because these are the ones
Heated
that are
rivalry
heated
game.
rivalry games. So
Not
these
really.
ones here are ones that we all wanted on the list, but there was little objections. Maybe not so little, but but there was some objections to it. So we each decided to choose one game that we think should be on the list that never made it to ours that we talked about. So I'm gonna start with mine, and mine is Everdell.
This game's garbage. No, I'm just kidding.
You love this game. What are you talking about?
I do. I love this. I
You
love
have
this
the
game.
big one.
He's got the big box. He was the one that prompted me to get the big box.
Yeah, so good.
So this one's put out by James A. Wilson and Clarissa A. Wilson, and it's put out by Starling Games and Tycoon, Railroad Tycoon games as well. Is it Railroad Tycoon?
I don't know. I feel like that's leading into what I'm going to talk about. So I feel
No,
like
Yeah.
no.
I don't think so.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Right?
I know. What are you talking
Right?
about? Shh, stop. So the reason I chose this game, when the pandemic hit, Sean and I were playing a bunch of games online with some friends, and one of our friends, David, was like, "Hey, you got to try this game. I just got it." And he actually had the physical copy of it, and he's like, "It's on Tabletop Arena. It's on Tabletop Simulator. Let's go ahead and play it. And we
I think
played it.
they just announced the Kickstarter for like the big box.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think
that's right.
he's like,
Yep.
oh, I'm
Mhm.
thinking of maybe I want to do it. And we're like, oh hey, well let's all play and we can decide.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we played it, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, I have to get this game for my wife, because I know she would love it, and
Does she?
she loves it. Oh,
Good.
it's one of our favorite
It's
games.
such a good game.
Oh, it's such a fun game. And so when I played it, I was like, this is really not that hard. You're building up your city of 15 cards by collecting resources, sending out your little workers, to collect those resources, and then build these buildings or add these, people to your to your city,
Tableau.
to your
Yeah.
tableau. Yeah. And they're all, if you're on YouTube and you're watching us right now, you'll see how cute the art
Ugh.
is. And the same thing is, like, again, it's these woodland creatures, and you're building up your little city in Everdell, and it's so cool. And again, it's a worker placement, resource management, tableau building game. Um, Really simple, really easy to play. It does take a
Is
little
it
bit of
simple?
I
was
know. I don't know about really easy to play.
it
I
is.
mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I love this game. This is probably one of my favorite games. I just feel like the fact that every card you have to read every card and understand what it does and when things happen, like if it's green, if it has a little green leaf on it, it happens right away and then at the end of certain seasons. If it
Hmm.
has a paw print, it's only it's a thing that you can put your guy on. If it's like a different, I don't know. Everyone has a different thing it does. Some it's at the end of the game, some it's not, some it's a right away, but only one time. And there's a lot of like, I think the cards and having to read all of those make it more difficult. Not a really hard game. I'm not saying this is like Arc Nova, but just to
I
throw it out there.
I feel like this is a like okay, you've tried some of the gateway games like we
Yes.
mentioned, like you played Ticket to Ride, you played Catan. Now you're ready to graduate to like the next
Yes.
level
I think this is
of
level
games.
2.
No.
Yeah, maybe level 1.5, maybe level 2. Yeah, I agree. I think because I no, um, I mean because yeah, you've got just some different objectives and some of those can be a little tricky to figure out. But
Mhm.
when you first pitched this, my first thought was like the whole mechanic of if I have like the building built, I can and like the little person comes out, I can put the little token on there to grab the
Mhm.
person for free. And I feel like every person I've taught this game to has not caught that on the first like has just been totally confused by that by the first thing the first playthrough.
Mhm.
Um
It is
and
weird that the things you're buying don't necessarily have to do with the people that you're putting out.
Hmm.
Like
yeah.
the little guys that you're putting out are just to get things so that you can pay for the cards. But the cards you don't have to have a guy go buy the card for you. You just buy the card,
Hmm.
right?
It's, well, no, it's the other way. It's if you have the card, you can put the guy out, or if you have the guy, you can put the card out. So it's either
No, I
way.
think you have to
Oh,
yeah, I think you
wait,
have
I
to have
think
the
we're talking
building.
about
Yeah.
different
You
sorry,
have to
I
have the
thought you were
building
talking
to
about
put the
something else.
person out.
Yeah.
It doesn't I don't
Right.
think it works the other way around.
It
It,
doesn't.
it so
Only
you
one
have,
way.
yeah, it's the you have to, if you have the building, you can put the person out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
thought you were just talking about in general buy like the little meeples that you get,
oh
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to use a meeple to buy a card. That's
No.
what I was thinking you were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still gonna fight you guys on this. I still think this is a good gateway game. I know I'm right.
Mhm.
You guys are wrong. I mean, we'll just go down that path there.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
No, I understand what you guys are saying about it being a little more complex than some of the ones we talked about in terms of like King
Mhm.
Domino and Ticket to Ride and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I still think as a gateway game, this is still a gateway game that can be taught to people to play, that
Mhm.
is easy enough for them to learn. Um, is it something I'd teach, a 9-year-old, 8-year-old? No, but they have little Everdell for that. My little
Me
Everdell.
too.
But
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you. So you're about to introduce a board game to somebody who's like never played a board game. Like they're an adult like us, but they've never played a board game. Like you're like, have you ever
Monopoly
played
life.
Monopoly or Stratego? Or like, nope. They're like, never played a board game. Never even played chess. Never played a game. Is this
Oh.
the first game that
They
you're
live
going to
a
bring
boring
out?
life.
Okay, so with that, uh, to go along those lines, again, if their if their background
You're trying to
is
justify it so much.
yes,
You're
yes,
trying. I can see that in your head. You're like, how can I
If
even? No,
their
this is not the first game
background
you're
no,
going to bring out.
if
No.
they're really into like cute forest
forest animal.
animals or stuff like that, then yes, I would bring this out because again, I think they would be intrigued by the
No,
art of the game.
you're gonna lose them. You're gonna be halfway through the rules, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm gonna go
Um,
back to
It's a
TV.
long rule book. The rule book for this one is long.
Mm.
I've had
I'm
to
still
search
gonna fight you
through it
guys on it. I
before.
still think this
All
is
right.
a good gateway game. All right.
I
Well,
was going to ask before we keep going with these, do we have a number of complexity? Because like Board Game Geek, and I'm not going to tell you what this one is yet. I have it up. But like, what would for a gateway game? What do we think? Like for a weight
oh wait,
that is weight
It goes like
1 to
it,
5, 0 to 5, I guess. I don't know.
it's like
Maybe
yeah.
there's zeros on there. But from what do we think a good weight is for a gateway game before we look at this one? Because I know what this one is. And I know what
like
the
in
I
other
want
one
to
is.
look it up right
general,
now just to know how bad
No,
it is.
don't look it up. I'm
Um,
curious what
in
you think.
like in general, what we think of a gateway
General,
game.
like if you had, what would a good gateway game be on a weight scale?
I'd say probably
One and a
like
half,
yeah, I'd say like 1.5 because like one when you say one, I'm thinking like more games for kids.
right?
So say like 1.5 to 2, like adult like an
Okay.
adult who can figure out like
Yeah,
they can follow along with like what's going on, but maybe
yeah.
they're not prepared to like be dealing with like arc as we like to say arc nova levels
three
of
Right,
point.
complexity.
The easiest ones are
what do you
3.75. Like sink or swim. That's the way it
right?
goes. Like
That's
you're no. No,
what do you think?
I
One and a
generally
half,
agree with
2?
Sean. Like
Okay.
1.5,
So
roughly about 1.75.
this one is a 2.83.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. I didn't think
You
it
yeah.
was
are
that
incorrect,
complex.
sir.
I don't think
You
We're
it's
are
gonna
wrong.
I don't think it's that's correct. I mean, I could see two. No. I mean, I could see 2 point I could see like 2.5. I could see two and a
let's
quarter.
look.
I
Vote.
Well, the Board Game Geek
People
website
vote on this.
disagrees with you.
You
Ooh,
can go to the poll, so you could skew the numbers here.
I'm putting it as a
The
0.
right?
go give it a
66% have voted that it's a 3.
It's definitely not a 3. It is not a halfway.
24% have said a 2.
It is not halfway between 1 and 5. This is
Well,
less
a
than
lot of
that.
people disagree with you,
Well,
Sean.
I disagree with them, and I'm right. So that's all we're going to talk about. All right.
All right. Are we going with mine
We
next?
could talk about this all night, but
We could.
let's go to the next one. So
I don't think I'm
Yeah.
going to do much better with mine.
I'm waiting. Oh, here we go, Mandy. Let's go. Let's fight yours.
Oh
All right,
yeah,
Mandy.
all right. Now, Sean, go look up Mandy's
I'm gonna
game.
bring it all up
I
right
already
now.
know it's right there.
I know
I have them
of
all.
the three of us, I know I'm winning this.
You're winning.
You're probably gonna win this one, but
You
anyways.
win this
All
one.
right, Mandy. Go ahead. What's yours
Raccoon
then?
Tycoon is what I decided to throw on there. It is a game. Did we talk about this? I feel like we talked about it. I'll try to be quick, but it's basically a game where you're trying to get a bunch of money using the stock market. And when you have enough money, you decide to bid on different railroad tycoons and you try to collect all the same ones. So, like, your Fat Cat is one of the railroad tycoons, Raccoon Tycoon is one of them, and you're trying to collect them all because you get the most points if you do. That's basically it. The stock market kind of works like if you trade something in, the price goes down. If you use these certain cards, the price goes up. So if on your turn you see something's really high, you could maybe sell all the ones that you have so you can get a bunch of money. Um, I think it's a very easy game. It doesn't involve cards that you have to like put a lot of people on and figure out what they mean. On your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can start right one oh no, there's like 5 things, but they're pretty simple things. You can play a card to make this to get tokens and make the prices go up for things. You can start an auction if you have enough money. You can buy a building. You can buy a city, I think, or town, a building, a town. Is that it? I think that's pretty much it. Maybe there's only 4 things. It's fast turns. The rule book's a little bit long, but like it's not too bad. But I just feel like if you just had someone to explain this one, it wouldn't be that difficult. And the weight is only 2.16.
You weren't.
Notice
You
that
weren't
is yours.
supposed to look. You weren't supposed to look it up.
I already had
I
him
was
up.
gonna say-
I had him up before we started.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
fair enough.
I was gonna say, like, there's no way this is 2.16 compared to Everdell, but we'll discuss in a second.
2.16. I will look at the complexity rating.
Did you go over?
70% said medium to light. Medium light.
Did you go say who created this?
Oh, I didn't. Hold on.
I thought you
Glenn
had it-
Drover is
Yep.
the designer, and the publisher is Forbidden Games.
Okay.
Yep.
I got to keep you guys. Like
Keep us
humble.
honest.
Yeah, keep you honest. In
Yep.
that. Okay.
I keep forgetting.
So we played this the other night, and I would say this is a little bit harder, and let me explain. Because you have those cards where you're collecting resources, and then what happens is it raises the resources up, and then you can sell the resources. You can sell the resources to collect money and stuff like that. The problem that I have with that is that, again, you're trying to figure out what will raise what, so that way it benefits you. And it's harder for someone to figure that out rather than, again, buying a building, easy peasy. You pay the money, not a problem.
Right.
You start the auction, again, easy peasy. I think that's a little more complex too, because again, the way you're fighting over and you're doing the auction and stuff like that over the railroads that you're collecting.
But if you play Monopoly the correct way, you auction it off.
yes.
I haven't, but
Nobody plays
has.
I was
Monopoly
about to
the
say,
correct way.
how many have? But anyways,
nobody. Somebody out there.
But again, the resource management aspect is a little more complex. That's why I say this is not definitely a 2.1. This is a little bit more.
No.
And that's why I say it's a little more skewed, because again, Everdell, going back to
my
mine,
gosh.
again, it's like you literally put for your resources, you put your guys out, you collect. That's all it is. You play these cards, but then it has another effect in terms of raising the cost of each of the other resources to sell later on. And you got to watch that, because you're watching everyone else to see what they have on there in front of them, which is a good and bad thing. Because at one point, and as an example, I was trying to get the coal up at one point. And as I was getting the coal up, I was trying to figure out what Sean had in front of him, what Josh had in front of him, what you had in front of you. At any point,
see if we could turn them in.
And see if you could turn them in. So now, again, that adds a complexity that, again, I don't think is taken into consideration, because it is an easy game. Don't get me wrong, but it's harder because now you, as a gateway game, you don't know this. So again, I'm raising stuff, which is then Sean can turn around and go, oh, look, they raised the price of stone, which now I can sell everything. And and that's a complex part that I don't think new gamers will grasp easy, because again, they have to watch everyone else rather than just watch what they're doing in front of them. Do you know what I'm saying?
stand by the fact that you don't have to actually do that. I don't pay any attention to that.
But
I don't win.
No,
I'm not saying I win.
I see what Sean's saying, and I agree with your point on that, Sean, because the idea is like by and large, like the rules of the game, like fairly simple, for the most part. I mean, like the auction and
the auction is a little different.
And some when little buildings, some of them are a little confusing. But I think the problem with this is that it has more complex, like the strategy is more complex, which is not something.
The strategy, if you have it, is more complex. You don't need strategy to learn a game.
But
you don't.
But the thing is, like,
I don't have any.
Think about this compared to, Ticket to Ride's like, hey, like, all right, I just got to get from point A to point B, and maybe like Sean just blocked me, so I just got to figure out a way to go around. Like, just the strategy isn't going to it's not hard to go from Monopoly to Ticket to Ride. I'd say it's hard to go from Monopoly to like Raccoon Tycoon, and with the strategy.
But here's the thing, like you were
strategy.
saying, like you were saying, but again, like you were saying, is like, there's no strategy, but I never win. But there's no strategy, because again, you have to have the strategy.
If you're okay with not winning, it's great.
If you're okay with losing every single time that you play, I'm okay with it.
Here's a great gateway game for you. You're never gonna win.
But you will if you play against me, because I just lose.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't think they don't take into consideration, again, the strategy that goes behind this. And that's why I say, like, Everdell being a 2.8 compared to this being a 2.16, Like again, I would raise this a little bit more. I would drop Everdell. Like I said, I think Everdell's about a 2.5.
No.
I think this
No,
is
Ever
about a
gosh.
2.25.
We've moved past your
Everdell.
game, Sean.
I
Let
okay,
it
fine.
go.
I'm not letting it go. Dang it. I'm right. No, but I'm just saying.
No way.
But like comparing this to comparing this to the other games, like you said, Ticket to Ride, stuff like that. This is
Yeah.
not a game that you could go from Ticket to Ride to this strategy wise in terms of that aspect. But that's
I
just
think
me.
all three of ours, we said like we can't. You couldn't like all three of these that we just said we would argue over. Like I don't think that any of them would have are as easy as the five that we already talked about.
Yeah.
Right?
I
We
disagree.
can all like, oh well,
Yeah. Sean's got one that
we'll see.
Sean got one that we kind of didn't fight with, but it was like, yeah, maybe
I don't know
we
it.
just didn't
I've
want to
never
add it to
played it.
our list. So
You never played it? Have we never?
I,
No.
No, look in your BG stats. I don't think I did.
all right. So
No,
then let's
I
let's
love
transition to
those.
Sean now. So let's use this as a good transition over to Sean because Sean's gonna to close out the show here with his.
Century Spice Road. Now for Exhibit A as to why this is a gateway game,
Exhibit A.
the
Do you
rule
have a
book. No,
Oh,
PowerPoint?
ignore
he's
the
got the
fact
rule
this
book.
says Golem Edition. The
Oh man.
If
oh,
I
it's not
had
showing on my
mine's
camera.
Thinking
too
green
mine's too
screen.
It's not
blurry.
showing on my camera. Darn it, my camera's not showing
A
it.
little bit. A little
The
bit.
the instructions is basically like a sheet of paper. It's the two sides of one
That's
sheet of
pretty
paper.
good.
It's not even a full sheet. It's just like a large greeting card. That's the entire.
A large greeting card.
Well, it's not a full size piece of paper, but basically that's the entirety of the directions. It's like this two sides, this
It's
one piece of paper.
it's pretty good.
My second exhibit, Sean, could you get the stopwatch ready?
Oh God, this is okay. So this you were asking me
I
if I had
can
a stopwatch. So let's okay.
yes.
Stopwatch is
Before
now
before
ready.
yes,
Set.
before the pod. No, wait, hold on. I'll tell you when to start.
All right.
Before we started the podcast, I said, Sean, have a stopwatch. So, uh, I can explain how to play this game in 30 seconds or less.
All
Am
right.
I gonna
Sean,
know how
You
to?
tell me
I
when to
can
go.
do it after this. Okay.
all right, just go. So there are four different colored cubes of increasing value, and you trade those in to buy victory point cards. On your turn, you can either take a card from the center row, play a card from your hand, or return all of your played cards back to your hand. The first card in the center row is free to take, but if you don't like it, you can spend cubes to get to the card you do want. Other players will get those cubes if they take a card with cubes on it. The cards you play either give you cubes or convert the cubes you have to different cubes of different values. When you play a card, it stays played until you spend a turn and bring them all back to your hand. The game goes round and round like this until someone eventually purchases a number of victory point cards, which varies depending on the number of people playing. Then the game ends and everybody counts up their points. Now you know how to play.
That's
There,
43
stop.
seconds.
That's 45
Ah,
seconds.
45
ah.
45.53. Actually, I'll say 44 because I had to pull the
Yeah.
camera back away.
Yeah.
That was
So,
44
all right.
seconds. So not 30
All right.
seconds.
All right,
So
fine.
yeah,
45
Under a minute though.
45 seconds to explain the game.
yeah,
Uh,
still not as
It
good as
kind of
Everdell.
sounds like I've never played, but it kind of sounds like Splendor a little bit. Is it or
Uh,
no?
There's
there's
hints of
some
it.
yeah, there's some similarities.
Okay.
Because in Splendor you don't, so like in Century Spice Road, like there's so there's four different cubes, and like there's like the lowest value, and then they kind of go up in value. So you're ultimately you kind of want to trade the cubes, like the cubes up to increase their value to the higher valued
Okay.
ones. But the thing is, like the cards that the victory point, like the cards that are worth victory points, it's not like you have to have um it's not like you have to have like all the expensive cubes to buy. Like they all can have,
Right.
each one can have a different cost. Um, and one of the reasons I think this is a gateway game, and that this is a good jumping off point to other games, is that it kind of teaches you. It's an engine building game, and it kind of teaches
Mhm.
people how to kind of do like to build the engine. Um, so you're figuring out like like if I play this combination of cards, I can get some cubes, and then I convert some other cubes, and then I can crank. So figure out how to start cranking out cubes so you can buy all these cards. So I
Okay.
feel like it's easy to learn, and it's it kind of teaches you some strategy, like some like the engine building strategy that you can then use for more complex games. So I think it's a great game. I love it. I taught my kids; they picked it up really early. There's actually a different version of this game called Century Golem Edition, which is the version I own. There's the exact same game. There's no difference in how you play the game. It's just that Golem's got like kind of cutesy looking golems, and it uses gemstones instead of um, And so
Cubes.
Century Spice Road, like they're all the different cubes are representing spices,
Mm.
and you're buying. So, but otherwise it's the same game. So, yeah,
I feel like
that's my game that
maybe
should have been on the list.
I came in to try to fight you on this, but the problem is I like this game too much. And so you're the one that taught it to me. And I was like, wow. And I remember you came over that night and we played it and I was like, this is really cool. And then
And I
you
probably taught you like it probably took me 15 minutes to teach you, right?
maybe not
No,
even.
it probably taught me like 45. No, it probably took me a little bit longer to teach you. So I had visual aids and everything.
yeah. Here's how you do this. No, you actually taught it to me probably in about maybe, no joke, probably 5 minutes. Once everything was set up, I think it was 5 minute teach, and it was crazy. And I really liked it. Again, I was going to try to fight you with this, but I just couldn't. You know, and we played this one, we played the second one. I forget what the other one was called. And I remember for even that one, we both were learning it together, and it took us 15 minutes. We watched a video, we read the instructions, and within 15 minutes we were playing.
Yeah, because this is it's the first of a trilogy of games.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is like so Sean and I've played the first two. We haven't played the third one yet. What's cool is that once you know how to play all the games, there's ways you can mix and match the games. You can play, and ultimately you can play all three together in like one big game.
Yep.
And someday we're going to do that.
Sean, I got to keep you honest. Can you give us the rundown on the creator and who put it out?
Oh wait. Yeah. Hold on.
I was gonna say, want me to say it?
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes. Thank you. It was designed by Emerson Matsuchi, and it was published by Plan B Games.
Okay. Sorry, I had to keep you honest.
Do you want to know the weight?
Oh wait, I'm gonna take a guess on this one. This is about 1.7. No, 1. I'm gonna say 1.8.
You are right.
Really?
Dead on. 1.8.
I have the lines over here.
You cheater.
I know. I can't say like I was gonna say like 1.8, but I don't have it in front of me. But now it's sound like I'm just
No, I have it right there.
Clearly, see, mine is clearly the easiest.
I think you probably won. I can't argue with you because I don't think I've ever played this, unless I played your. I was looking at pictures of it over here, and I don't.
We played the Golem edition.
Maybe it was the Golem edition.
With you.
You need to look at your BG stats.
Yeah, I don't have my phone with me.
Century. Oops, I can't spell. Century. Is it also called Century Spice Rolled?
No, it's good.
No.
Century. Just look up Century Golem edition.
Yep. Or you can do Century Spice Road. Either or.
Did I play this?
So,
I don't know. I can't tell if I played it, but it looks fun.
Sean,
and I will play it.
Like I said, I wanted to fight you on this. I couldn't. I love this game too much.
I win.
You win. You win this one.
I think you win.
I think you win. You know, but I will have to put an asterisk beside this because you had another one that we were going to talk about in the last minute. You're like, nope, I'm going to change to this one, and we are like, all right, that's your game.
What was your other one?
To. That's true. I was originally going to go with Sagrada.
Because that one I would have been able to fight.
I could have argued that one.
Yeah, that one I could have fought with, but no.
Yeah.
But would this make the top like 6 that we made? Probably not. But this is a good one. We'll let you have. So, all right, everyone. It's been a great night of talking about games and fighting with each other. I'm still the winner tonight. Mine's still the best. But anyways, no. Thank you all for joining us again. From Sean, Mandy, and I. Keep playing games, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good night.